What's going on, guys? Welcome to Vinyl Happy Hour. I'm still coming down from the high of Black Friday Record Store Day. And tonight we're going to talk about the 5 records you might have missed at Black Friday Record Store Day and 5 non-Record Store Day records that dropped that you definitely missed, probably with all the hype going on. So every week we get into a nice little breakdown and show off some of the packaging, what's special and interesting about a few different releases that come into our store. I'm Skylar Davis, owner of Culture Shock Clothing and Records, lifelong music fanatic, drink lover as well. Drinking a little scotch tonight on suggestion from worker at our local liquor store. First one I want to talk about, though, if you weren't here or didn't see the list on Black Friday Record Store Day, it's amazing what Record Store Day put together to release. Some things did get overlooked, some things got delayed, some things got canceled. Let's just jump right into the one that we actually have in stock now that wasn't ready in time for Black Friday Record Store Day. The Chris Cornell cover 7-inch. Chris Cornell, of course, of Soundgarden. I'm extra fanboying tonight. R.I.P. Chris. This is a couple of covers that were released from Chris Cornell. Patience, classic Guns N' Roses track, and Nothing Compares to You. Need I say, that's a Prince song. That was actually a live one, but this recording of Patience is excellent. The vocals and the instrumentation. This is on white vinyl. There's only a few thousand of these. We are going to be having a link in our YouTube to all the Black Friday Record Store Day records that are available. I'm not teasing you, though. I'm going to show off records that we actually have available still at the time of this video. I don't want to go and talk about, the Record Store Day, Rolling Stones, or whatever that's super limited and impossible. This may or may not get reissued in the future. Hard to say, but for right now, this is the only way to get it. It's on white vinyl. I would get this copy because if it gets reissued, it probably won't be on colored vinyl. This is another one. I take for granted that you may not everyone may know much about the Beastie Boys' early years. This is some old bullshit. This is the Beastie Boys' really, really early stuff, 80s stuff. This is not hip hop. So for a lot of you may not know, and this hadn't been released or streaming for a long time. The only way that I originally found it was bootlegs, non-officially, released recordings of it. This is on white vinyl. This is not the Beastie Boys that you know. This is their early stuff. I think it's prior to working with Rick Rubin. They probably produced it themselves. This is punk rock. This is hardcore. This is totally different. This is not like License to Ill and Check Your Head and all that other stuff. This is actually going to be like when they were going out in New York, moshing, tearing it up, watching a lot of punk and hardcore bands. You could tell they were obvious fans of like Reagan Youth, Bad Brains, stuff like that. But it's like punk and hardcore. Definitely not the greatest recordings, but not that bad sounding either. Considering there were some New York kids, just making some hardcore. It's pretty good, but it's pretty amazing to see the origins of the band. And it's cool to hear now in later albums, obviously the stuff we're familiar with, Intergalactic, Planetary, and all these other ones, where you hear the mix of live instruments, drums, and guitars. They actually know how to play instruments, and they incorporate a lot of that, even into their later hip-hop stuff. In bootleg versions, though, I had never seen some of these original inserts, flyers, things like that. Really, look at these little babies. They were just little young guys there in those pictures, and you can see them playing and thrashing it up. There's like some old $1 to get in at a show. Remember those days? So really cool to see the artwork from some of their really early recordings. This was a Black Friday Record Store Day exclusive on white vinyl. Any fan of Beastie Boys should probably pick that up. Next one, let's get into this. I already did show this off a little bit last week when we were talking about all the releases. This is the Chariot Long Live. The jacket might be a little hard to see in video, but it's not the artwork that was on the original album from 2010. This is an amazing hardcore band. This band features Josh Scogin, I think is how you say his name. That's what the artwork looked like on the original album. And this is the splatter color vinyl. He was the original vocalist of Norma Jean. This is one of these great raw metalcore, hardcore bands, but the way that they play, sing, scream, play their instruments makes it sound like they're about to fall off the rails. If you've ever heard a metal band screaming so hard that it sounds like they're gonna blow their vocals, but that's just how they sing. Same thing with the guitar and drums. It's just like about to fall off the rails, about to lose timing all the time. But that's just how they play. Their songs are just raw. I love it. It's just a breath of fresh air from some of this stuff. And they actually recorded, this was their first album on the Good Fight music label. So they did record this more like a live feel, analog to tape recording instead of separate musicians, but comes with a really cool booklet, photos, info. Of course, the vinyl's dope. They got like this half clear see-through black and splatter and silver vinyl. Just a great album, very hard to find for some reason. The early pressings 10 years ago, we had them at the store. They all sold out. I wasn't going to talk about this one, but this was another one of my picks. I have to just bring it up again. Norma Jean, Meridional. I guess Meridian or Meridional means south or southern, and this is a southern band. So what's really interesting is this is Norma Jean's album from 10 years ago, and that was the Chariots album from 10 years ago. Both very hard to find, and I just kick myself all the time because we used to have them at the store, you know, for retail $19.99, $24.99, but they sell for sometimes $100. Well, this one finally got reissued for Black Friday Record Store Day as well, on like this kind of marbly clear double LP blue vinyl. It's got printed inserts, super nice gatefold, great artwork. Just a really great album. So this is Norma Jean this is also them on a change on label. This is their first on the Razor and Tie record label. 10 years into their career or so. And let's see. So it's not different though. I really love it, but it doesn't compare to the Chariot, even though it does have, you know, some of the same members moving bands. This is like a lot more deep, heavy groove, good metalcore with just the right mixture of some clean singing thrown in. It's become one of my favorite Norma Jean albums. Still love that first, you know, those first set of 3 albums they dropped. This must be their 4th or 5th. This is probably their 4th album, I'm thinking. So you can definitely hear a change as they go along, and this is where they found themselves locking in with some really thick, heavy guitar work. Comes with a cool little label telling a little bit more about the release. Great sounding recordings as well. All of these have gotten a good couple of spins. Here I do want to throw in just one more mention. This is an album you might have missed. I do want to mention Cash Page real quick. There was some great rap and hip-hop that came out. Of course, Kids See Ghosts and DMX, some classic stuff. But this is a younger girl. She's only 20, I think. Maybe she was 19 when she did this. From Texas, Cash Page on green vinyl. First time she's ever had anything released on vinyl at all. Maybe the first time she's had anything physically released. I think she's more like a SoundCloud rapper and a lot of stuff on YouTube and online and digital mixtapes and stuff like that. This is Park Car Convos, her EP. It's a really cool mix of things though. She definitely falls into that like alternative hip hop sound. But there's guitars, there's a lot of synth even. There's some psychedelic guitars. It's got this slow, heavy R&B groove to it. Just real laid back. Definitely check her out if you haven't. I think fans of a lot of different types of modern alternative hip hop would be into her. She's actually, that's pretty lucky. I think like the story is she kind of ran away from home, didn't want to go to school, things like that. And somehow landed a deal with Def Jam Records, and I think managed by Rock Nation. Is that the Jay-Z company, I believe? So I think we might hear a lot more from her later on. She's only got a couple EPs out. Let's move on to some other records though. So that, we're gonna have the link. We actually have quite a few Black Friday Record Store Day records still available. I shouldn't say that. We have only a few. We got My Chemical Romance, the ones I mentioned. Kudos to Record Store Day for bringing out a great list of records and helping us still do this during a pandemic. I guess we'll just go right to the top one here that I want to talk about. So these are 5 records that I'm kind of picking from the week's release. These came out on the same day as the Record Store Day Black Friday because new releases come out every Friday, which is why we like to present a little video to you every Thursday, just giving you a little in on what's getting released and making sure you don't miss out on some of these releases. This is the biggest release from Smashing Pumpkins outside of their first few albums. I think this is the first time they've really woken up and gone back to making good albums. I can't say they're going back to their original sound, but this is CYR. I'm just going to say it's called Sear, I'm guessing. It's really interesting. It's also a limited special version on like this. It's supposed to be blood marble splatter vinyl, but I don't know anyone's blood who looks like that. I've never seen blood that color, so we're just going to call it a heart blood splatter vinyl. I don't know what. But double LP, this is... let's see, we've got 3 of the original members. You got James Iha, Jimmy Chamberlain, Billy Corgan doing this album. Double LP, super long, I think 22 tracks long. Sear from Smashing Pumpkins is a synth groove, almost kind of gothy electronic new wave sounding. It's not quite like Nine Inch Nails, but it's the best sounding album I've heard from them in many years. It's really sticking with me, especially like Witch, Ramona, Purple Blood. Check out some of those songs if you haven't yet. It's already streaming too. They did a great job with that. I think what's interesting about this is the first time in a long time I think that Billy Corgan's produced his own album. So he's kind of taken the reins of Smashing Pumpkins. It's all produced by him. Like I said, the sound on this is great. He's very meticulous about his sound, so it makes sense that he'd be producing. Ooh, we got little splatters of gray and white in the vinyl. So it looks good, it sounds good. It's just like really different sounding. I mean, it's so synth driven. There's guitars still, of course, but man, it's so synthy, so electronic. I peeled off this huge sticker, put the big sticker on there so you could tell what color it is. This actually did come in a indie store exclusive pink vinyl. This is the Red Blood Splatter limited exclusive vinyl. I think there's even a pink vinyl coming out in the UK. So there's multiple colors of it. Just such a great sounding album. It's really sticking with me. I just can't believe how different it sounds. So groovy, dancey in a way almost. So definitely check it out. If you're a Smashing Pumpkins fan, or even if you haven't listened to them in a long time, this would be the one to get back in on. Their album they put out a few years ago, it's good, but it hasn't stuck with me at all like that one will. Phish fans, you might have missed out. Sigma Oasis is out. They actually dropped a new album also during Black Friday. I think a lot of people amidst the pandemic and trying to get record store day stuff probably didn't realize how many albums are still coming out and getting released. These guys, classic jam band, kind of a proggy jazz rock group. Again, they haven't struck me in the last few albums as much. This is also limited, like half green, half black vinyl. So that's a cool release. Double LP, all the artwork. They did a nice booklet insert with it as well. So it's got all the lyrics to all the songs, book pictures, nice big, you know, like 8-page inner jacket. These guys jam though, and this is a good jam for right now. I think the Smashing Pumpkins doing a really long album fits well with the pandemic we've been going through, giving us a lot of music to listen to. This is supposed to be their return to like melancholy and infinite sadness, but I don't think it's quite that. Same thing with Phish. They're actually doing a good long album again. There's a nice 7 or 8 minute jam. Thread, I think, is 12 minutes long. Just really good bass and groove jams. They're kind of proggy, jammy. Definitely back to that. I actually hear a little bit of this kind of southern charm on this Phish. In a weird way, I almost hear a little bit of maybe some like some Lynyrd Skynyrd in a way. It's kind of interesting because they're all very harmonizing, very easy listening vocals. And all the instrumentation also just kind of chill, proggy. Some of the other Phish albums get a little more far out. Back in the day, I've definitely live. I hear some more kind of like Frank Zappa influence almost, something that's just kind of a little jarring and strange, and Primus even. This one is way smoother, way chiller. I think it's definitely good to listen to in the privacy of your home, stuff like that. So yeah, it's a good album from them. Considering I'm not even a huge Phish fan, I don't know a lot of their music. It's a really enjoyable listen though. So that's the Sigma Oasis album, like I said. Double LP, nice long albums from these guys. Typically, I'm not a fan of long albums if it's just filler, but right now I think a little filler isn't that bad. This is interesting. Let's just keep going with the whole pandemic theme. Billie Joe Armstrong here. This is No Fun Mondays. We've had a lot of No Fun Mondays throughout the year of 2020. Billie Joe, I think, kind of took over some of the Green Day channels and was doing some fun covers, just kind of having fun, something to do. He couldn't tour, play with the band, or do a lot of studio stuff, so he recorded some covers on his own. You've got covers of, there's anything from classic punk band, The Avengers, California punk band, to Kids in America, what is that, Kim Wilde, just some 80s stuff. I Think We're Alone Now. He just kind of had fun with it, but even during a pandemic, Billie Joe was able to, it comes with a cool little insert as well, he was able to release these all online, kind of through streaming and stuff like that, and then produce them himself, record them, and even do an indie store exclusive on blue color vinyl. So if you're a fan of some of the songs on here, check out the track listing, or if you're a fan of Green Day or Billie Joe Armstrong, cool album to check out. Obviously, I would go with the indie store exclusive if you're going to get the record, because those are only available to independent record stores. So it's really cool to see that some of these bands, even as big as Smashing Pumpkins or Billie Joe, Green Day, are doing special limited indie store releases, not even just during record store day, but throughout regular releases. The songs are good. They go from okay to really great. It's just cool to hear him digging some stuff out of his, probably his record collection. He did another album where he's done covers of Everly Brothers, so it's cool to hear him doing, hear a younger, generation punk guy doing some classic tunes and things like that. What else did he do? Oh yeah, Give Me Some Truth, Whole Wide World, Police on My Back, which is also kind of a deeper cut from the Equations. I forgot their name, but of course Manic Monday is on there too. Wow. I did learn something really interesting listening to this, talking about Manic Monday, which is, who sings Manic Monday? The Bangles, right? That is a Prince song. Prince wrote that song, Manic Mondays, and it's just another Manic Monday. I mean, it makes sense. It does sound like it has a little bit of the frill Prince would have, but he wrote that for the Bangles. So that was a cool little learning thing, and hey, thanks, Billy, for digging through your record collection and playing some songs for us. This next one, Brutal. This is just good, hardcore Hatebreed. Wow. The Weight of the False Self. This is something that if you just need some energy music, if you're working out, whatever, just need something brutal, this is kind of awesome to test your speakers with, just see how loud it can get. These guys are brutal. Some of the biggest circle pits I've ever been in 20 years ago, 15 years ago, was at a Hatebreed show. Always had a crazy show. But even though there's no shows or anything going on, these guys still can put out a brutal album 20-something years into their career. And they did like 2,000 copies on like the brown and white splatter, limited color vinyl. So you may have missed that came out. So not an indie store exclusive, but I think mostly indie stores would have it. Of course, we'll share links with you. These are all available on our website at cultureshockshop.com, or you can pick them up in the store, even on the website, choose in-store pickup, or we'll ship them to you. One thing that I've always loved doing, and it was always hard to do on CDs, is seeing what shirts the guys are wearing in the band. So, you see them wearing Motorhead and Slayer shirts and stuff like that. I don't know what he's wearing. He's got his own clothing line. But I've always loved looking at what bands are thanking, what t-shirts they're wearing. That's just kind of a thing that I love doing. So I forgot. I had a couple that I was going to point out. But also, if you have any comments, or I want to know what you picked up on Record Store Day, things like that, any other ideas you have for videos. Also, if you've bought things from us online and we've shipped them out to you, shoot us a message. Let us know, thumbs up that you got your records and that you're going to be ordering more, or anything else you're looking for that might not be available right now. We'll see if we can get them for you. This one also, really great to see the packaging on this. I've hardly ever seen this album, even on CD. Armor for Sleep. This is the 15-year anniversary of their album, What to Do When You Are Dead. I just want to make sure I get that right. But this is a really interesting release. If you don't know Armor for Sleep, this also goes back to more like, I want to call the emo core days or whatever, the screamo core or whatever. This was a band that fell right in line with bands like Thursday, Taking Back Sunday, Census Fail, things like that. Really good band. This is my favorite album probably from them. But this is the expanded 15-year anniversary edition, so you get extra artwork that you would have never seen like on the record or on the CD originally. I actually don't remember. Yeah, I think this was pressed on vinyl. That era is so hard to find. Nice thick vinyl. Any vinyl though. But what's really cool is the insert. My favorite thing about this, although the demos are really cool, hearing the full versions of it, What to Do When You Are Dead. I don't think this ever came with the CD. I don't remember ever seeing this. A comprehensive guide to the afterlife. Let's get this out of here. So this little booklet shows you what to do, like what to do when sun appears, get in the dark, get away from the sun, what to do about your surroundings, how to communicate in the afterlife, it shows him how to make dogs ignore you and stuff like that. It's just really silly, recognizing your past. I love the little insert that came with it. It makes it totally worth it just for this. I love that. Obviously it makes it worth it that this record is pretty rare, and it's probably 15th anniversary edition, won't be around for very long. So usually when a band puts out an anniversary edition of something, it's a limited run, because this year is the only year of the anniversary. Speaking of anniversary, Illinois is 202 years old today. So happy birthday to Illinois, which is where we're at. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you so much to all the local businesses working with us through Small Business Saturday, and thank you to all of our customers helping us have a good Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, keeping our store going 14 years strong, and supporting all the music and all the other gifts and items we carry in our store. And if you're having a drink, A little cheers to you as well. We'll see you. We might even have a special extra video series this year for Christmas too.